Switching gears, First Watch Restaurant Group, they reported a Q4 loss earlier in March. Still, the daytime restaurant chain added 43 restaurants in 2022 and is looking to add as many as 51 more despite the expected economic slowdown. For more on the company's Q4 results and growth outlook, let's get to First Watch Group CEO Chris Tomasso. Chris, great to have you here with us today. All right, so talk to us about the plan to continue expanding even though there is some uncertainty in the economic scenario right now.
Yeah, there's certainly some uncertainty, but we've seen our consumer be extremely resilient throughout, COVID and beyond, and to where we are now. And so we feel good about our continued growth. We have a plan. We're sticking to it. It does make forecasting a little bit difficult with the environment that we're in right now, but we had a tremendously strong 2022, a great fourth quarter. And, we've been the fastest growing full service restaurant company in America for the last couple of years. And we expect to continue that pace.
Chris, this might be a silly question. Why to what do you attribute that speed of growth here, especially for folks who are not familiar with First Watch?
Yeah, and we recognize that there's a lot of folks not familiar with us, even though we're coming up on 500 restaurants in 29 states. We've been a high growth concept for many, many years. We know we've flown under the radar somewhat in the restaurant industry. I think it's our unique offering to start with. We're a breakfast, brunch, and lunch only concept. We're open from 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. There's really nobody out there doing what we're doing. And brunch and breakfast has been not only the only segment in the restaurant space that's been growing, but it's been doing that for many years, despite about 70% of breakfast occasions still being eaten at home. So a tremendous growth opportunity for us, a lot of white space. We've identified the ability to open 2,200 restaurants in the U.S., and this is just part of our plan to get there.
Have you had to modify any of the ingredients that you use in the menu items that you have across the store and restaurant footprint?
No, we offer the same menu across our entire system. Our entire menu is available all day long, from when we open to when we close. We have a lot of third shift employees, for example, that come into us at 7 a.m. when their shift is over, and that's their lunchtime, and they can get soup, salad, or sandwiches at that time. And of course, our brunch and breakfast menu is available the entire time as well. But one thing about us is we approach everything from a position of freshness. So we don't have heat lamps, deep fryers, or microwaves in our restaurants. We use, all natural chicken, organic greens, cage-free eggs, things that consumers are seeking in their dining choices today. And so we've been, a culinarily forward concept for a very long time. And we just think we're perfectly aligned with the way the consumer is moving and has been for a while on how they want to dine.
Chris, as a restaurant chain, you guys have an advantage that I think many consumers would want right now, which is you guys have a fixed price contract for your eggs that you talked about in your most recent conference call. Eggs finally have started to come down a little bit in price, but I imagine that's been an advantage. But have you been able to, you got that fixed price, but have you been able to get the supply that you have wanted over the past 6 months or so? I'm sure you guys use a lot of eggs in the restaurants.
We use a tremendous amount of eggs, and last year was an especially volatile year for that, as the consumer knows. But the outbreaks of avian flu that occurred last year really put a lot of strain and pressure on the egg supply. Look, our first objective is to ensure that we have supply, and so we did experience some volatility last year, obviously. And going into this year, we were able to contract our eggs and potatoes from one of our, and that represents about 15% of our market basket. And so it really is more about ensuring the supply than it really was about pricing.
All right, we're all about the eggs here.
We
Thanks
really
so
are.
much, Chris Tomasso, First Watch Restaurant Group CEO. We appreciate the time here today. We'd love to check back in the future as well.